BC Conservative leader John Rustad has resigned. This comes the day after more than half of Rustad's caucus said they lost confidence in his leadership. And the party's board tried to remove Rustad by certifying him as professionally incapacitated. For the latest on all of this, we've got the CBC's Katie DeRosa in Victoria. So, Katie, when you were on the show last night with JP, Rustad was saying he wasn't going anywhere. Now he's gone. What did he say about why he made this decision?
Well, I would say yesterday was one of the top most chaotic days in the BC legislature. Rustad repeatedly affirming his leadership, saying he's not going anywhere, despite that letter, despite the party announcing Trevor Halford as the interim leader. Rustad repeatedly saying he's staying. So we left the day basically not knowing who was the leader of the party. Perhaps, Trevor Halford was the leader of the party while Rustad was leader of the official opposition. It was very confusing. Now, this morning, 9 a.m., John Rustad came out, had a press conference at the legislature and said he is resigning. He was asked what has changed between last night and this morning, and here's what he had to say.
I talked to many of my supporters. I talked to the core people that have been around me, talked to my wife. They all encouraged me to carry on with this fight. But in order to do that would be the creation of a civil war within the Conservative Party of British Columbia. And that is not in the interest of this party, it's not in the interest of our members, and I don't think it's the interest of British Columbia.
Now, the caucus has selected Trevor Halford. He's the MLA for Surrey White Rock as the interim leader. Trevor says he's not going to run for the leadership, but he will take the party through the next few months until they select a leader. And so, now we have a little bit of stability. Rustad will continue to be a BC Conservative MLA, but he will not run in the next election. And he says he will support whoever is chosen as leader. So again, a bit of a breath this morning as Trevor Halford has press conference. 24 MLAs were standing behind him. Some of them were singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." They were clapping. So it was a completely different mood from today compared to yesterday.
Katie, was like, 13, 14 months ago, they almost won the election in British Columbia, and now here we are. So, look, that's all ancient history, obviously. What comes next for the party after all of this?
Well, I spoke to party president Aisha Esty. She says the goal is to have a leadership race to know the leader within the next 6 months. She's hopeful that this will actually unite the party. She says that having party members be able to get a say and make their feelings known will unite the party. I had asked both Aisha and Trevor Halford about whether a leadership race could expose further fractures, because there is likely to be several BC Conservative MLAs who are putting their name in the hat. And they say, no, it will give a chance for people to air their debate. And the BC Conservative Party's values are about free speech and giving everyone a voice. And that has been lacking since there was MLAs who said they weren't able to have their vote. They weren't able to have their say on Rustad's leadership. So the party brass and the new interim leader is convinced that now the healing will begin and the party can focus on being the official opposition instead of focusing on this infighting.
Okay, we'll see. The CBC's Katie DeRosa in Victoria. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, John Rustad is out as the BC Conservative leader just one day after saying he wasn't going anywhere. Here's a bit of his parting words from earlier today.
It's been a great honor building this party, taking this thing from where it is and bringing the Conservative Party back to British Columbia, back to life in this province. It's been a great honor for the people who stepped up to run and the people that stepped up to support us at a time when the Conservative Party was virtually non-existent. And people took their chance on me, on the Conservative Party, on bringing about the change and hope that British Columbia has wanted to see. And it's been truly an honor to see the support and the outpouring of that right across this province. Certainly, from my riding, which I've always been very thankful for and honored to represent, but really across the entire province. And I think, going forward, as we look forward as this Conservative Party going forward, the Conservative Party will be the next government in British Columbia. There's no question in my mind that after the next election, the Conservative Party will win.
Okay, the BC Conservative Party's board has chosen its interim leader, as Katie was walking us through. It's South Surrey White Rock MLA Trevor Halford, and Trevor Halford joins me now. Trevor Halford, welcome to the show. It's good to meet you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Look, a lot changes. I want to confirm you're still the interim leader, right? That hasn't changed in the last number of hours. I just, there's been a lot going on in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Do you feel this has resolved the instability in the BC Conservative Party?
Yeah, we're beginning our journey, and I think it's going to be a really healthy journey, and I'm looking forward to that chapter. And the one thing that I've spoken about internally, externally, is about bringing stability. Bringing stability within our caucus, bringing stability within our party, and I'm really excited about having that opportunity because we've got some great people, and really British Columbians are wanting an alternative to the chaos that they're seeing with this NDP government today.
John Rustad said he left rather than provoke a further civil war within your party. Was he right that a civil war of some sort was inevitable if he stayed on?
Obviously the last couple of days have been very difficult, but they've been really difficult for John, and I want to, express the gratitude that John has done to get us to where we are today. And for me, I don't see the divisions that a lot of people talk about. I don't think about left or right in terms of the spectrum of politics. I think about right and wrong, and I know that's the thought of our caucus as well. So I'm looking forward to the days ahead.
Okay, but there are 39 MLAs, 20 of them signed the letter, so there is clearly division, right? I mean, were you one of the 20 MLAs who signed the letter asking for him to go?
Yeah, those were caucus conversations and discussions that I'm not going to get into, but, for me, what we need to make sure is that going forward is that, we've begun a new chapter here, and we're about to embark on a leadership journey, and I think that's going to be really successful. And I want to thank John for what he's done, and we are. I think some great names are going to step forward, and we're going to have a really great race that's going to put the focus back on how we can better serve British Columbians.
I appreciate you don't want to release the details or reveal the details of the caucus conversations, but whether or not you were one of the people who asked for the leader to go. BC Conservatives are going through a leadership change after Mr. Rustad won a leadership review. Shouldn't they have an explanation from the elected wing of the party on who took what side in this forced change at the top?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think that matters anymore. I think what matters is how we're going forward. And today was a day to reflect on what John has done for this party and how we're moving forward in the days ahead. I'm not one that's going to look in the past. I'm one that's going to look in the future. And I'm really, really excited about what's ahead.
So why did he have to go then? What is your thinking on this issue?
Yeah, I think it's one where I think John kind of explained that today, and we were at a point right now where we were having some challenges, and we were going to work through those as a caucus, and I think that we've John acknowledged that it was time to step aside and for us to begin that next chapter, and that's exactly what we're doing.
But how did you get from almost winning the election last year, very close? Some of these votes these seats went to an official recount. I know there was the flooding and the extreme weather, which made it a bit of an unusual election day. But to almost win, to now be here with MLAs gone and maybe forming another party and trying to establish that and forcing out your leader. What kind of a message do you think voters in British Columbia take from what's happened in the past year?
Well, I think for us is that British Columbians are wanting to see a government in waiting, and that's what we're going to be focused on. And I think everything else, the internal stuff, there's a lot of noise with that. And part of what I've said that I want to bring forward is that stability to make sure that we're focused on talking about the issues that are important. Like, I'm going to go home to my riding, and we have a 12 to 14-hour wait at Surrey Memorial Hospital right now to use the emergency ward. We have emergency room closures across this province. We have mills that are shutting down at Christmas time. We have the longest lines that we've ever had at the food bank right now. Those are the issues that British Columbians need us to be focused on, and that's exactly where I'm going to take our group.
But is it just, I mean, I appreciate that you can see this as internal, but it was a series of very public episodes, right? I mean, we're talking about it on a national political show, right? So it's not like it was low profile what happened. And I appreciate the problems you've outlined, but you kind of need to be seen as a together credible force for people to trust you as a party to address those things. And I wonder if you've hurt that ability with not you personally, but everything that's happened with the party over the past year.
Yeah, I acknowledge that, and I think there's some truth in what you said there, and every party goes through this, and ours was done, unfortunately, in a very public way. And I think what the public is wanting to see from us and what we need to exhibit is that we are a government in waiting and that we are going to hold this government to account. And there is no shortage of stuff that we could be talking about of what's going on in this province. So I'd rather much be talking about that than some of the issues we've been talking about over the last few days. And so, you know, I think your question's bang on, because I think people don't want to be hearing about turmoil. They want to be hearing about what solutions we're putting forward and how we're fighting for the people that are really struggling in British Columbia today.
So 2 MLAs left your party to sit as independents, largely citing John Rustad's leadership. Clearly, that is not an issue as of this morning. Will you be reaching out to those MLAs? Because I know there's different circumstances around each of them to try to bring them back into the caucus. Do you think there's a path back for them, or is this a permanent departure in your view?
No, I think that, listen, at the end of the day, I'm an interim leader, and I fully acknowledge that decisions will not be made independently by me on situations like that. They'll be made in conversations with caucus, and I've held this job for probably all of 8 hours now. So I imagine that, you know, there's going to be lots of conversations to have, and, you know, I look forward to tackling them one at a time.
Yeah, 8 hours probably is not enough to have a full battle plan ready to go. I appreciate that, Mr. Halford, but I know you said you're not running for the permanent leadership, which is kind of standard when you step in as an interim leader. Do you have a wish list? Do you have a candidate that you would like to see step into this race and maybe succeed John Rustad and be the person to present that value proposition to the voters of British Columbia you outlined earlier?
Yeah, you know, me serving as interim leader, I can say emphatically, number one, I will not be entering the leadership race. Number two, I will not be supporting a candidate. I don't think that would be in the best interest of the party. But what I want to see is I want to see a great debate. I want to see great ideas. I want to see passion. I want to see enthusiasm that really grow our membership, that, you know, grow our support across this province. I am extremely confident that the people that we're going to see step forward are going to put exactly that on the table, and I'm looking forward to a great race.
Well, BC Conservative interim leader Trevor Halford, we appreciate you taking time for us on what has been a busy and eventful day. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you taking the time with me.